Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
I am your host today, and with there like one person in the chat section? Perfect.
Yay.
Hi, Martha.
Hey.
Martha,
Hey,
so
Martha.
good to see you.
Yeah, the notices just dropped.
Yep. So it'll take a few minutes. That's why we always just shoot the
Oh,
crap
you
in the
know what?
beginning.
We didn't put our Golden Girl names up here. Should we do that?
Oh, that's what
Ah.
we forgot.
Absolutely.
I
Edit
forgot
my
Can you
all
do that
about it.
without leaving the studio? Can you edit
Yeah,
that?
just click those three.
Yeah, the three dots of
Oh,
on the
yeah,
little
look at
picture under
that.
your name.
Oh, wait, where did mine go? No, that didn't work for me. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't want it to go that way. Cleo the Seer. Do I want it to say Dorothy as Cleo the Seer or Cleo the Seer as Dorothy?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Who am I?
You're Val.
And
You're
who's
a guest.
Val?
You're just a guest.
Val
Yeah,
is
you can be, fill in for Val, and Val is
Rose, right?
Rose.
Yeah.
No, you could be Rose's sister.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just
That's
going to
what I
say,
was going to do, Colleen, is have you be Dorothy's sister.
okay. I don't see my name though. I think the layout that you have is taking up too much space. Is anybody
have to
seeing
go
their
to the
names?
next
I'm not
box.
seeing names on
No, but
anybody.
it's, yeah.
Just Cleo, just click the heads next to the ones you have clicked.
At the bottom.
Kids. What are you talking
Hello, everybody.
Underneath
Welcome.
the main screen of the video, where you clicked the little thumbnails to figure out the arrangement of the heads.
Okay.
Click the one to the right of the one you have clicked. You have the one with just two. There you go. That gives us a little more room, but I'm still not seeing names. Is my screen not full screen?
I'm not seeing names either.
Yeah.
Could be something in the settings.
I
maybe
see our
something
names down in our little thumbnails below the big
Yep.
one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hi, Sherry. Hi,
What
Gerald.
is going on?
Hi,
Hey,
Sylvia.
Oh, showing the names is in the brand section, says Gerald.
Okay. Thank you. I'll go do it. Don't worry.
Yeah. And yes, Sherry,
Hi,
she says, I'm not the only one who gets lost in StreamYard.
Found it.
Ta-da!
Okay.
Yay.
How did you do that, Colleen?
I followed Gerald's directions. I went to the brand section and then where was it? Scrolled down about where to go? Halfway? Not even halfway. Right under where it says theme, bubble, classic, minimal block, there's two little things that say show display names, show headlines. I clicked on show display names and show headlines went on too.
There you go. Hey, Michelle. Michelle is making grants to all the channels. Thank you.
I wonder if I can add to my name.
To watch a replay of Valerie Illumination Portal and Diana Bowles, who's oil painter. They did a thing this afternoon all about the portal, the new moon. They got a lot into the astrology of things and were explaining things, and I was like, oh yeah, Colleen told me that. I remember that.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I was fiddling around with my name. Who is this?
This was on Valerie Illumination Portal.
Okay.
It was on her channel, and Diana Bowles, who's known as Oil Painter, in the chat. They did a show today and this afternoon, and I just happened to catch it like halfway through. So I was like, oh, cool, listen to them for a little bit. I was actually learning stuff. So they're talking about putting together an astrology class for beginners to learn basic astrology. And I'm like, yes, sign me up.
Okay, now that we're finally all on here, we've got our names up. I just want to introduce that we are the Golden Girls. I'm Dorothy, Shari is Blanche, Marina is Sophia, and Colleen is Dorothy's sister, and she's also Cleo's sister. So you're the sister. Um,
Wearing a lot of hats, folks. So no
Yes.
pressure on
Yeah.
me tonight.
Yeah.
Now, if it looks a little confused, since I'm the host, this is the first time I've ever done this, so everybody's trying to help me out to figure out how you set this all up. But it doesn't change anything. We're all ready to do readings. So if you have any question, please put them in the chat section.
In
we will
Political
do that.
questions. Yeah. Political questions. Current events.
Political questions, yes. So in the meantime, we can just come up with some political questions.
Yeah.
And everybody has told me that it's so difficult to go from chat to what we're talking about here. And I see right away why that is. And
You know what? Everybody has a first day on the job, and everybody has gone through the same thing. So, you know, the good part is you've got people who've gone through it. We can talk you through it.
My first show, 3 hours before showtime, I screwed something up and locked myself out of YouTube for 24 hours.
oh no.
And somebody else had to be like, oh, well, let's just do it on my channel and we'll just say it's your channel and I'll make you admin and you can do everything and I'll just hang out. I'm like, okay. But I felt like such an idiot. It was like, God, why couldn't I figure this out?
Well, I'm just happy that we made it this far. Everybody's on there. Everybody's got their names up there. We're actually going live and there's people in the chat section. So I just want to
who are telling you that you're doing great.
well, thank you.
Yes. And something to remember that Gerald pointed out is, Cleo, you'll need to make some people mods like on your channel.
People on screen
and you don't do that on StreamYard. You do that through YouTube or through your phone. And that's something that maybe Colleen can help you out with, and Shari.
Or buzz one of us and we can walk you through it. It's real easy.
Well, I thought that's what Colleen was going to be doing.
Well, I'm babysitting. I can babysit the chat in here in StreamYard, but and I think I can do a certain amount of booting people out. Like what can I do here? I think
you can in StreamYard. I don't know if you can in her.
Yeah, YouTube. I can do it if it's coming on your channel, I think. But if you have a troll from somebody else's channel, somebody who's live streaming your channel, like Marina, Shari, if you have trolls, then you guys have to handle it.
Yeah.
But if it's on Cleo's channel, I think we can handle it from here.
Yeah,
but
I want to have now and again, but
you want to have people on each channel who are moderators, and you can tell they're moderators because in the little bubble after their name, there'll be a little blue wrench, and they have powers. They can get rid of trolls because they have superpowers.
And they can do it
later.
Can I just talk to the trolls and the little cranky people, and we can?
I would not advise engaging the trolls. I don't think that's a really great idea.
There's nobody behind it.
Anyway.
Yeah. Hi, Tammy. Yeah, I mean, we can worry about doing all that later, and then
yes.
And everybody is streaming this to their channels, so be sure to go to their channels to watch it too. But since it's my first time, stick with me for a little bit, so I get.
If you stay on each channel, I think it's at least 15 minutes. Then that channel gets credit for the visit.
Yeah.
So you can like channel hop, but give it maybe 15, 20 minutes before you hop to the next channel. That's what I do anyway.
Oh, okay.
And I'll hang out on this one for 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll pop to another one, and so on and so on. And so
so since we're talking politics, let's talk about our favorite orange guy. And what he's been going through in the last week. It's been a trying week for him. He so wanted to give the closing arguments in one of his many court appearances, and the judge said, "Oh, no, absolutely not. I don't want to hear this. It'll be a campaign speech. It'll be some nonsense that has nothing to do with this." And he probably was thinking, "You're not an attorney, so we don't really want you doing that." So he didn't get to do it. But then he comes back out and he explains stuff like I can't remember. It was just so ridiculous about uh, how he shouldn't be in the court, and this is all wrong. And he has, oh, his main thing this last week, especially, is I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong. And I'm thinking, well, of course you haven't done anything wrong. That's why you're going to court over and over and over again for at least 4 different indictments.
That's why you owe New York State $370 million now for doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And he did actually he did get up and speak. It was very short because Judge Engeron let him speak for about a minute and then said, no, that's it, we're done, and then told his lawyer, control your client.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I love that.
So,
It was
yeah,
quite
but it was
enjoyable to watch.
yeah, but it was the same thing, right? Yeah.
And then I
I'm
saw another
innocent.
clip
This is
where
political. This is they don't want me to be president, even though everybody knows I'm going to win.
hi
You know, after
Sheila.
that,
Yeah, it is.
And then I caught another great clip this afternoon of AOC ripping a new one into MTG for
See that?
it was really great. She was talking about MTG was asking about what the proper rule was on something, and AOC is like, we've been here a year and she's asking for the rules. We were given the rules on day 1 with a book. Everyone was given the book. You're supposed to read it. I was like, damn.
I love it when they do that.
I do too. I like the little girl, listen to me. The young lady from Texas. She's a black woman who's one of the representatives. And I keep forgetting her name.
I'll get her name. I'll get it.
She's like, oh, she doesn't play. I mean, she tears into him. It's like, oh, you go, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You're going to be speaker one day.
Martha B.
Oh, Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett. That's her name. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Martha Bean wants to know when there's going to be a verdict on his immunity. I thought it was going to be like really, really soon, but maybe it's like next week. I thought it was going to be like tomorrow, but I don't know. And as far as how that's going to work out,
not well for Trump.
Yeah, well, if the court does what the right thing, it won't be well for Trump because, you know, he doesn't have immunity from anything, and they already questioned him about that. Those 3 judges, they were looking at him and they said, so this means if you go out and kill somebody because you're president, you can do that. And his attorney said yes. Now we all know that's not true, and that would be totally illegal. So we'll just see, see if the court actually comes up with something substantial, or do they pass it off to another court?
I think it was particularly telling that, who is going to decide his fate in this are 3 women.
I love that.
And he does not like strong, opinionated women. Not only that, but there is a woman of color that's on that panel, and there is an Asian woman. So I'm sure that just gives him the heebie-jeebies to know that the people that he mocks the most are the ones who have his life in the palm of their hands. And they're going, look, squish like a bug.
Yeah. I think the legal term for that, Marina, is they are actually going to burn his biscuits. I think that's the legal term.
Oh, you're right. I stand corrected. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because that is so, I mean, I loved that too. And I loved when you're listening to the recording of what the judges said in the courts. These women are so, I mean, they were speaking in very plain language, but the ideas and concepts, they were just dancing rings around that lawyer. I mean, he was just he was just drowning. He was just drowning. I mean, his arguments clearly, I mean, you could have a third grade education and understand what they were saying, that, no, you just don't, this isn't the law. You're kind of making this up.
Yeah.
I just was so impressed with those judges. They're just so great.
Well, yeah, when he said it's for the president to actually go out and shoot somebody is okay because he's president and he has immunity. Those judges must have just been. Did I hear him right?
Yeah.
He said,
Come again, white boy.
Well, and these judges are in DC, so they've probably heard a lot of the appeals from the J6 defendants.
Yes.
Right. So they've heard all of this stuff. They've heard almost everything that he would have brought out anyway. So they were prepared. These women were prepared.
I had a feeling that
I got the
what's
moon,
his name,
which is
Smith
female energy.
What?
And then I got the chariot, which is shows that they're not going to take any fluff off of him. They're going to just run right over him. Followed with the 5 of swords. So whatever conflict he thinks he's going to bring, no.
And Marina, what were you saying?
Well, I was saying that I have a feeling that the prosecutors, and Jack Smith's team could have gotten up there and said, Dr. Seuss, green eggs and ham, and still win. Because the argument absolutely to nobody, it didn't make sense. That no, he's accountable if he's impeached and found guilty. But you just said he has immunity and he can't be, charged with the crime. Well, he would have to be impeached. But if he can't be held accountable, how do you impeach someone who has immunity? It was I agree with you, Cleo. I think that this poor judge, or not the judge, his lawyer, I'm sure that there's a part of him that knew when he walked in there that I'm going to end up looking like a total moron, and I deserve it.
Yeah. Well, because he's saying what he's saying, because this is the discussion they had with Trump, and Trump says that this is the way it is. And when there's no way else to answer it, and they ask him flat, they boiled it down to just asking him flat out, this is exactly what you're saying. And he had to say yes or no. And he said yes. So right there, I think the case is lost just with that one answer about the whole thing. But, and what is it that there's the immunity thing, and that because he was president, he could make certain decisions, but there's 2 things going on, and I'm getting them mixed up right now.
Should he be on the ballot or not? The 14th Amendment thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The ballot one. Now that one, it's looking more and more like that's just not going to work out. That they're making a big deal about that. And what I love is that they're saying, this is an old rule from the Constitution, and it doesn't really apply to today. I'm thinking, no. It totally applies. And then they're saying it's never been brought up before. Absolutely, it's never, because we've never had a nutcase that would commit insurrection. We've never had anybody that's tried to overturn the government. And they would never have anybody that didn't go through with the peaceful transfer of power. So, yeah.
And you better be damn glad that they amended that amendment, because the original amendment for that said that the number one punishment for insurrection, sedition, and all this stuff was death. That they would be put to death.
They should go back to the old thinking about how that amendment would be.
I think I'm a little confused. Are you trying to say that there are some people who believe that the Constitution is a living document and needs to be amended on a regular basis, depending on, what's happening in the world? Or is it that it is what it is, and you can't change anything about it because you have to read it word for word exactly as written.
Well, and if it's been there for 150 years, then no, it stays.
Yeah.
It definitely stays. I agree. No,
It's like you can't make an argument on either side depending on how it suits you at that particular moment. It either is or it isn't.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
either a living document and you need to grow with it, or it stays exactly as it was written and there is no other interpretation except that what was there at that time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And as far as what Cleo, what you were saying, yeah, we've never had it tested by a president, but we have had it tested by other positions.
Yes.
There've been, a few over the years, and a couple just recently, or one just recently, I think in Colorado, I believe. And so
And they were eliminated from the ballot, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
it worked. They were eliminated, and nobody said, "Oh, you got to go to the Supreme Court for it." They just said, "Oh, it's an amendment to the Constitution, so duh, it's really the law." So they're talking out of both sides of their mouth as usual, per usual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, Colleen, are you keeping up on the questions?
I am, and I have a few starred. If you'd like me to put a couple up.
Yes.
First is, let's do this one. How long will it take Florida to recover from Death Santas?
Oh,
And I love the way she spelled Santas.
Santas. Yeah.
Nice,
Points for
Debbie, very nice.
creativity. How long will it take? It's not going to be overnight.
He's done a lot of damage. So, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, especially with the mess that he created with Disneyland, which, oh my God, what the hell? What are you thinking? So it's going to take a little time to get things back in order. But I see where Chris Christie has already bowed out from the presidential race. And I think that DeSantis is not far behind. He doesn't have the support.
I thought he was out of money.
Well, he's out of money, and he's not a good candidate. Is basically it. He's just not a good candidate.
No.
So I think it helps to remember that you're dealing with a demon there in Florida who's had them in very deep water, and they don't know what to do with it. But once he's gone, it's all going to sprout new leaves, fresh growings, but that takes time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Well, doesn't he have till 2026 to for his government thing or his governor thing?
Yeah, 2026, I believe his thing is up.
I think that's
But
right.
ironically, Florida is a state where you can obtain an abortion.
Really?
Yeah. There's some restrictions, but there's also some protections. So
same with Ohio now.
No, but wouldn't you think that Florida didn't have any right to abortion? Because it just floors me that it does. So I guess Death Santas is going to sleep at the wheel.
Well, that's a surprise to me, and it means we all give Florida a little bit of hope. And once you get rid of your governor, I think things will clear up. So as far as how long will it take, it's going to take a few years at least to get things back to normal in Florida.
Yeah, by the time that he's up and give the new administration an opportunity. Yeah, I think that when he is taken out of power, the new people coming in are going to move swiftly to correct some of the things. But it's still slower than what you'd like to be. And they're going to take a look at his finances. That's, I think, ultimately, that's what's going to bring him down, is what he did with part of that COVID money, what he did with some of the hurricane funds and whatnot. that's going to be his undoing, is playing nasty with the dollars.
I'm surprised we haven't heard more about that recently. I mean, we did hear about it at one point, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Why do you think we haven't heard about it?
Because he's busy campaigning? I don't
No,
know.
it's not up to him. He wouldn't be talking about it. Other people would be talking about it. Why isn't the Secretary of State in Florida talking about it? Why isn't even the Biden White House talking about it? I mean, why isn't somebody talking about it? That's something hinky, I think. I don't think that's right. I think there's something weird. I pulled a card on it. I got the sun in reverse. Somebody's covering something up. Somebody that has a big motivation for keeping it covered up. And it's not DeSantis's wife, but I mean, she's really the one who did it. But, just like with Clarence Thomas, there's somebody big and powerful who's helping cover that up.
Yeah.
Because are they part of the money river there?
I didn't go that far, but maybe. And as far as Florida recovering, I think once DeSantis is gone, I think it'll take a good 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Because they first have to just start changing laws back. But then it's not just the laws, it's stuff that they've done to schools and the school system. And they've lost so many teachers, and they've lost all their migrant workers, and they've lost their produce industry, basically, because nobody can pick the stuff. I mean, they've got many different fronts that they have to correct in Florida. So I don't know.
I lived in Florida back in the late 60s, early 70s. From like 69 to 75, 76, something like that. And I was elementary school, going into middle school when I lived there. And at that time, Florida had one of the best public school systems in the country.
Wow.
Because they ran their schools on the Montessori teaching methodology, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
It really stimulates children's brains into learning more. But they ran it on the Montessori method. They had politicians that actually gave a crap about about what was going on in the state and tried to do things for people. I remember when they allowed food stamps in. My mother was one of the recipients that qualified for it. And that was back in the day where if you wanted, say, $30 of food stamps, you had to pay $5 for it. You still had to pay for the food stamps, but it was a very limited amount. That was back before they just gave you a card or whatever. My mom would go to the next city over to go grocery shop because she was so embarrassed to be seen with food stamps to buy groceries. And that was back in the day when $30 would give you a basket full of food.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 69, 70, 71, 72. Yeah. But Florida used to be a really lovely place to live. And I would love to move back there one day because I really like Florida. But
yeah,
I don't know.
The way things are going.
Well, maybe you will, Shari, because it is going to change tremendously once DeSantis is out of there.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Totally.
So we ready for another question?
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to pull up this one. It's from Tammy Aldrich, and she says right up front, this is a silly question, but is MTG privately lusting after Hunter?
Oh.
Ancient astronaut aliens say yes.
Yes, very much so.
Oh my God, my pendulum says yes. Oh my God, I love it.
I forgot to get mine out, and I don't want to move everything to get to it.
Yep.
Margie Pargie, we got your number.
I got yes also.
Well, she's not divorced from her husband, and she's got a weird look about her. She doesn't come across as a woman that you'd want to hug,
I pulled a yes card.
Yeah, I get the Knight of Pentacles, that steady, loyal lover. So, or
I got
partner.
the
Yeah,
10 of Pentacles is what I got.
yeah, yeah. I think she does. Yeah.
Well, he is a pretty handsome guy.
Yeah, he is, but
He
he's
is.
married with children. He's got well, I think that's what she likes though.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, and she knows she's probably looking at him and winking and stuff.
Ew, yeah, can you oh God, it's crazy. It was because I think that's worthy of a post to just make a little post of MTG lusting after Hunter, I think.
Well, and
Absolutely.
did you see him in
I'll have to
the
tell Pegasus to do that. She's been on a roll making memes lately.
We need
She's
that.
got a new Facebook page that forget the name of it now. I'm sorry, Peg. But she's been making these fabulous memes she's been posting.
well,
I'm
did
gonna
you
have to tell
see
her.
her and him in the believe in the chambers of the house or wherever they were holding this thing that they were saying that he wouldn't come to, but then he did come to something, and then they just spoke like he wasn't even in the room, and then he just looked at his attorney and said, "Let's go," and they just got up and walked away.
Yes. Yeah. When Marge started to ask,
She started talking and she had held up again those naked pictures of him. That's really what prompted the exit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they all stood up together, turned their back on her, and then walked out.
Yes, yes.
You know, so it was like,
exactly. And
I
I
thought
think
that was a
Rose
class
Blue had
act.
a good question about should MTG be charged with pornography or spreading pornography or whatever. I don't see a problem. I don't see a problem with that. If you know what, if a man did it, they would certainly call him on the carpet and say, "Why are you doing that? You're spreading, pictures of naked women. What's the difference with her doing it?"
Well,
And
yeah,
she did it with a good deal of
Mark
pride
Gates
too.
already does
Yeah.
that.
and if you want to get a good yardstick, picture Mitch McConnell holding up a naked picture of Melania.
Yes.
Or just
Or
a naked
Ivanka.
picture of Mitch
Well, that's not
McConnell.
hard to do. Just go online, you'll find them.
I mean, you would hear people saying he's broken the rules, he's
Yes.
broken the rules of conduct. So if you benchmark it against that, then yeah, Margie, you're done. That's not cool.
Why did it that those pictures even exist? Where and is this something they got from the laptop or what? I don't even know.
Supposedly
what
they
sources
got
that
it
was.
from the laptop,
Yeah,
but
that's what they say.
I have serious doubts that those are actually real pictures of really him. I mean,
Yeah.
nowadays with AI and the deep fake and the pictures aren't clear. I mean, they're like kind of grainy, and it's like, well, he wasn't taking them to play with later because you can't see what you're doing, so.
Well, I'd rather not see naked pictures of anybody, but if you have to see a naked picture of somebody, Hunter Biden is definitely the one.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad looking man to look at. It's
He's not involved in this stuff. Well, hold on here. I'm going to mute myself for a minute. The dog's getting crazy.
So Sheila already asked this question, will she get sanctioned? And I think we've already answered it. She should, but
Yes.
maybe we should read on this.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm in for that. Yeah. And while I'm doing that, I just want to remind you, I don't know if you've heard it, but apparently Roger Stone is kind of almost shopping around to see where he can raise a little more money. And his big thing is that that video that is out there that has him talking smack and whatnot. No, that wasn't him. That was AI. He just wanted you to know that's not him.
That he hired to follow him around.
And I thought, gee, that might have been something you should have brought up right after it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Or when they showed it during the J6 hearings. last year before last.
Yes.
And the
Right.
fact that it was the documentary crew that he hired to walk around and follow him and film him so that it would all be out in the open for
Yeah.
when they took the country back.
Look at the kitty.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I get a yes on this question. I don't know who's going to
I
be
do.
the first one to stand up and say they should do something about this, but so many things Marjorie has done that she deserves sanctions for that I don't know if it will ever happen. I mean, she's
Every
just,
time she opens her mouth.
yes. So yeah, they would be doing it all the time. So we'll just see. I don't know.
I
Stuff.
yeah, I get the high priestess. And the one nice thing with the high priestess is, I mean, she's not going to volunteer a lot of information, but if you ask her specifically, she will always give you the answer and she will always tell you the truth. So I think this is her kind of trying to present herself as being the voice of authority that she knows, when really she doesn't. She's got the 7 of Cups. This is illusion delusion. She really does think that she's kind of one step above it all. It's not going to work. I get the Knight of Wands. He's coming in with some ideas, and this is an uncommitted affair. It's like she is she's after his drunk. I'm sorry. I wish I could find another way to say it, but yeah, she is. She's after his drunk, and I think that she will be held accountable.
Well, I love the fact that she thinks that she's a poet when it comes to everything she says and all her ruminations in Congress. Meanwhile, her co-workers are simply plastering a Band-Aid on the issue and not really doing anything to her, but telling her, go sit down, little woman, and hush up. What she doesn't realize is that in the end, she's going to be in an ocean full of trouble. She's just going to be in the depths of trouble that she doesn't even begin to understand. And yeah, she definitely is interested in what Hunter has to offer to anybody other than her. I would imagine.
Wow.
Oh, he filed a lawsuit against her. Good for him.
As well he should. As well he should.
Yep, he does have a lawsuit against her.
Oh,
Very good.
Good. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. And Book Bewitched said she just wants to know how much longer we have to deal with her smirk. So I believe
Wipe
that
off her face.
like everybody else, she's up for re-election in November, right? Like all of them.
I think so, yeah.
So
Yep.
let's see, is she going to get re-elected?
Oh, good question.
Yes, Marjorie gonna get elected.
Or as Arthur likes to call her, my tragic girlfriend.
I get a no.
I get a no also. My tragic girlfriend.
Yeah, you love that? I know, my tragic girlfriend.
No. Yeah, she's judge not, lest ye be judged. That's what she's got coming her way. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's look at some other things here. Here's a good one. Is Fonnie Willis going to have to step down because of the rumor of her dating a married man? Okay. If they do, I'm just going to blow up because that is so misogynistic and wrong. But let's read on it.
Yes.
Coming from the side of a man that will jump anything with 2 breasts and
breathe. You can, it doesn't matter if you can still see the shovel marks on her, but yeah, if she can breathe, yeah, he's on it.
So does anybody know if this is the least bit, if there's any truth to the rumor?
Yeah, it could be true. I mean, she's
They're-
a single woman. She's
Who
entitled to
cares?
have a dating life. I
Well,
mean,
of
they're
course
trying
it
to.
is, but as it, this thing about a married man. First, what has that got to do with her work? Nothing.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Let's see. Willis.
Apparently now she was the one, she hired him the day after he filed for divorce. She hired him as a special prosecutor. The rumor is that he is getting paid much more than anybody else in the office, and that, people on the inside who shall remain anonymous say that yes, there is a relationship between the two of them, and get this, that part of what's wrong with that, and the fact that she has been subpoenaed to appear as a witness in his divorce proceedings, and I believe it was by the wife. But the argument is that, well, he is being paid by the people of that state, and he is using then, quote unquote, federal funds to take her on vacations and to take her on weekend getaways and so on.
Okay. I just got to say, I just Googled it to find out some information, and the New York Times does not come up as having covered this story. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say that it's just horseshit. Oh, God. Sorry
So
about
bless
that.
you. Bless you. Yeah.
I'm just going to say horseshit because,
And so what?
Yeah. So what? So, maybe she was called in to testify at his divorce case for, some reason to verify something, not because she was having an affair. It's just like Trump. Trump just says things and then people scramble to try to make it so.
Yeah.
If the New York Times isn't reporting on it, then I don't think I don't think it carries water.
No, and as far as stepping down because of this situation, absolutely not. How many times have they come up with things against her in the first place because of what she's doing to Trump? That they're trying, they're constantly trying to remove her from it and say he doesn't know what she's talking about and she did it wrong or whatever. And no, she didn't do anything wrong. This is irrelevant, and it's something to make her look bad, but it's not something that she would be. If it was true, I don't think that even at that they'd say, oh well, you got to step down. No, she does not have to step down. As a matter of fact, she is on the warpath right now, and she may be coming up. And I'm talking from a psychic standpoint. That she may be coming up much sooner than we thought, as far as bringing her charges into the court or bringing Trump into the court. It might be happening fairly soon, like within weeks. So no, the closer it gets to something like that, the more you'll hear negative things about Fani Willis. So just ignore it. It's nonsense, and it has nothing to do with her job.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I pulled was a 7 of Cups, which is wishful thinking on their part. That this is going to make her step down, or that this is going to make everybody say, oh my God, she's having an affair. Quick, be gone, you witch. Followed by the 5 of Cups. She's just, they're just going to ruminate in their regret as they watch her literally thumb her nose at him and say, F off,
Yeah.
Followed by the 2 of Wands, which leaves them with trying to make a decision. What are they going to do about it? There's nothing they can do. She's having an affair, allegedly. Big whoop.
And you know what kind of intrigued me more than anything else was the fact that you could take someone's paycheck and turn it into something awful and disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, the state is, and he's taking money from the state to, take her on holidays. It's my paycheck. If I want to burn it after I receive it, it's mine to do with as I will. It's not up to my employer to tell me how I'm going to spend my money. I've already earned that money. So to whoever thought of that, man, oh man, I'd hate to be in their dreams. Yeah.
Well, and also, as a woman, she is looked down upon and looked at as a Jezebel, no matter what.
Yes.
As if that's a bad thing. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. But think about the men in this scenario. Now, how many times have we heard people say, well, Alina Habba is probably, with Trump, or Jenna Ellis. But, I mean, they didn't say that about Sidney Powell because, like, who would? But
Who would? Yeah.
but anybody else that has a pulse and a pair of boobs, they're like, oh yeah, she's sleeping with so and so. That we females get jobs without sleeping with people. Just get over it. It doesn't have to be that.
It's
And
the concept that we can't possibly progress in our careers unless we spread our legs for it.
Right. But also use your imagination. Think up something better. This is so old. This is so 18th century. Like, God, just use your brain cells, think of something better. So dumb. Okay. So I'm going on. Okay. So
Totally.
is that the one I had on? Did everybody read on Fonnie Willis?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Okay. So we did that. And now we're going to go to.
I like what Book Bewitched put. She also was accused as having an affair with gangbangers. She is my hero, and I saw that guy. You go, Fanny.
And she has every right to do that. She really does.
Hey, the bad boys are always more fun, let me tell you.
Okay. I'm going to put up a question that came from Cleo the Seer. So here we go.
Okay. Wow. Well, let's find out.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The one I was just talking
Could we
about.
see
If things keep going cattywampus, she might be coming up before March. But definitely, I'm thinking definitely in March. Yes, she will be there, but she could be there before.
First card, I'm not going to pick anymore. The Emperor. So and this, success in business or legal matters. I think so. I think so. And who's the Emperor? That's Trump. I think you're absolutely right.
Hanged Man.
You guys all got yes?
Of Wands.
Yeah.
Followed by the Queen of Pentacles. Yes.
That's great. I got a yes too.
Yeah,
when we were talking about Engoron,
yes.
I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but he had a bomb threat at his home today.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what they should be charging DJT with is terrorism.
Yes.
Screw the insurrection and the presidential immunity and the J6. Just flat out prosecute him as a terrorist.
Terrorism is
that judge has had a number of threats against him and his family.
Oh, yeah.
And the most recent one, you're talking about a bomb threat to his home.
That's the worst one that's come up. Yeah.
Him and his assistant both have received ongoing threats. And it's just, I don't know.
I still call J6 the terrorist attack on our capital.
Yeah.
And when people have questioned me about it, I said, no, that was domestic terrorists that attacked our capital.
You're very cute, but I can't.
If they were brown-skinned people or darker-skinned people or wore a turban or anything like that, there would have been people screaming at the top of their lungs, domestic terrorism, and that they were radicalized.
Or just plain terrorism, not even domestic. They just be calling them terrorists. Yeah.
So just because this was a majority of white people doesn't mean it's not the same thing.
But that is a nice way for the white supremacists to kind of whitewash it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Of course.
So convenient.
You know what?
All that white.
I think maybe we should just send a little bit of love and light and protection to
And Goran.
to Engeron
All
and
the
his
judges
family and his
and their
associates.
I totally agree.
Because you know what, if someone is coming after him, it's because they know this case is lost. They know it's lost, and this is just a way to intimidate and to bully and all that kind of stuff.
And who's
So
to say that the next call
Yeah.
won't be an actual call?
and then
And the
just
man
surround
has to
him
go.
and his family in white light and with a reflective mirror, so that whatever is thrown at them is bounced right back to where it came from, and it's nothing but light and love to surround him and his family and the people he works with.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you. We need
You're
that.
welcome.
Yeah, good call, Marina. Really good. I would also like to put protective bubbles of light around him and each of his family members as they go to and from their jobs from this day
Yeah.
forward until Trump is incapacitated in some way.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, they're so cute. They look like little bean people now, all in their little capsules of white light. It's so cute. All right. So what do we have here? Let's see. Well, we do a full reading on this by Martha Bean, who was the first person in our
Oh.
chat tonight. We didn't actually do a reading on this. We chatted
No, we
about it,
didn't.
but we
Yeah.
didn't do a reading. So when do we think this verdict is going to come down from the 11th Circuit? I think it's imminent. I think it's, count to 10 and it's going to pop up. Like, I think it could be.
Yeah.
I don't know if the courts even meet on Fridays except to accept briefs, but maybe I'm going to ask about Monday.
And I'm getting Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Tuesday they'll come down. Let's see.
Two of Pentacles. I'm seeing it in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's coming very soon.
Yeah,
But
I'm
is
with
it gonna
Marina.
be-
I'm going with Tuesday.
Is it going to be an absolute verdict, or is it going to be to pass it on to another court?
Oh, I think it's going to be a verdict, and I think I got this a couple of days ago when I was just listening to a recording of them talking to that ridiculous attorney. What they're going to do, in their opinion, is this is really going to burn Trump's butt. They're going to quote Chutkin's decision and opinion in their opinion. They're going to use a lot of her references so that he's just going, it's going to be great. I started to read it. It's a very long opinion, and I have squirrel brain. It's very hard for me, but I'm going to read the whole thing because they're saying that it's just so masterfully written that it's going to be in the books.
Yes.
It ended up with
okay,
Five
so
of Pentacles.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the poorhouse.
So
Yeah.
he loses his immunity argument.
Mhm.
And then is it like a house of cards with all these other cases? Because that was his whole thing, is I was immune, so you can't do anything to me. And then
Well, it doesn't decide all the other cases, but if they had decided immunity was his, then all of those other cases would have been shut down.
Yeah.
But since they're saying that he does not have full immunity, what it means is that the cases can go on and they can press their charges. They still have to prove their charges, like the J6 case and Fonnie Willis's case and everything. It still has to be proven, but at least he won't be able to use the argument of immunity.
right. But I'm thinking that if this should happen with the courts, these other cases, which are kind of being pushed out, I think that they might be happening sooner than
Yes.
what they thought.
Yes.
Yeah. Chutkin's case is stayed until the decision comes down.
Yes.
So
Okay.
as soon as the decision comes down Tuesday, then Chutkin can move forward, which means she might be able to keep that March date. So then Fonnie would have to fall back to another date. But each one in succession will be able to go forward, because for most of the cases, I don't think they anticipate them being longer than 60 days.
No.
So
No, they don't. And even with Jack King, I think, yeah, his case is almost on hold until this is settled. That's why he went, he kind of,
Jack Smith,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Jack Smith. When that's why he wanted the Supreme Court to rule on the fact of did he have immunity or not, and the Supreme Court said, no, we're pushing it back. So I have a feeling that these ladies are up for the challenge, and I think that they're going to come down with the decision that is going to send the message that okay, enough is enough.
Yeah.
You've pushed Mama one too many times, and that's it. I'm not playing anymore.
Right.
But also in listening to them cross-examining these attorneys, I could just tell they were just salivating at the idea of being able to write this up and write it up for posterity, for history, to write these things and really codify, this is not right. This is not right. This is not right. So we need a little clause about each of these stupid things that he brought to us. We need a little clause in the statute that says, thou shalt not do this. Thou shalt not do this. They're writing law. They're writing law when they write this opinion. And I bet they can't wait to write.
And when Marina inadvertently said Jack King, I'm thinking, that's no mistake, Marina. I like thinking of it that way, Jack King, because he is, he's been steadfast. He just is, he does everything that he's supposed to be doing. And they're all looking around like, well, now Jack's in trouble and Fonny's in trouble. I mean, it's not true. These people are just doing a great job. And I guess didn't Jack Smith bring in yet another person to work with him to back, to whatever however
he did a while back.
Yeah, he brought in a guy who was a real expert at arguing before the Supreme Court.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Jack King, it should be. He's king of the heap of this mess that they've got to deal with.
Yeah, right.
Well, it just goes to show how brilliant Merrick Garland was, because to keep from dirtying his hands with all of this and have people screaming it's political, blah, 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 he calls in Jack Smith and says, okay, dude, ball's in your court, go for it. And he's let Jack have pretty much carte blanche to do whatever Jack says he needs to do. And this is a man who has spent his life fighting this kind of stuff. Yeah. So he knows what he's doing. And he's called in people who've worked with him over in The Hague for all those years, who are experts at what they research and do and prosecute. So, I mean,
they have brought down bigger and better fish than what they're doing
by far.
Oh, and I love what Steve Meyer says over here in the chat section. He says, and they will be able to press charges against Gomer Pyle and his flying monkeys because they won't have immunity.
Well, let's just put his little question up, because he asked questions. Can you read on Gomer Pyle and his flying monkeys? And we should do that. We should. So what are we reading about them? What will happen to them? Will they be charged for what they're doing? How do we want to phrase this question?
Well, they never did have immunity in the first place, but those guys, you're talking about all the other people that were indicted next to Trump with all what was going on.
No. We're talking about people who haven't been indicted yet. Gomer Pyle is the guy who's head of the whatever the committee is. That's this big, powerful committee.
I thought it was Gomer Pyle.
Say it again, Shari. What committee is it?
I think it's the Judicial Committee.
So for some reason, he doesn't seem like much of a lawyer, but he's the head of the Judicial Committee. And Jim Jordan isn't a lawyer, and he was in charge of it for a while. And the things that they're doing, they're just, first of all, they're wasting the taxpayers' money by only doing investigations on Hunter Biden. And they are not doing anything worthwhile in Congress. So will they be, here's what I think the question should be. I'm pretty convinced that once Jack Smith, there's some bellwether that Jack Smith is waiting for, and once he sees that indicator, he's going to start indicting all of these momos from Congress.
Absolutely.
That's going to be Comer and Jordan and that whole crew. So how will that go for them, or who? I don't know how to phrase the question. Please help.
Well, they think they're above it. They think that they have skirted by this stuff, and it's not going to happen. But a lot of those guys know there's a good chance it's going to happen. So they've probably already got their attorneys in their back pocket, or at least the phone number to their attorneys in the back pocket. But no, they are all going to eventually be either indicted. Well, they're certainly going to be questioned, but I think they're going to be indicted. I mean, a whole bunch of people are going to be indicted, and they will do exactly what some of these people have already done, like the one woman attorney for Trump who has been indicted and admitted that she helped with the lie about the 2020 election. And now they're getting ready to take her license.
Which one is that?
Oh God, I just read about it today. I don't remember her name.
Is it one of the people indicted in Georgia?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because
Jenna Ellis?
With the 2020 election, and that she was Trump's lawyer at the time, and she passed on the lies to everybody else, and then she admitted.
Jenna Ellis?
Yes,
I think it was Jenna Ellis.
Okay, the one that cried when she
didn't know she had
admitted it. Yeah,
More
she had no idea
lawyers
they
told her
lied
she could do that. Yeah.
well, she seems very young, and if she's not very young, she's just a very immature person as well as an attorney. And I think that she was very upset that her sorority sisters didn't tip her off. That's what I think. Nothing against sorority sisters.
No.
But you didn't tip her off.
She is probably going to lose her license to practice law.
Yeah. Which is the whole reason that she came clean, so that she wouldn't lose her license.
Well, unless she can make some kind of deal. I mean, she admitted that she did something illegal, and as an attorney, she is expected not to do anything illegal. So I think she's going to lose her license. But these other people that you're talking about that are still off in the wings, that they know they did stuff wrong too, and they're seeing what's happening to her, and they're still, I saw this before. They're like a herd of rats. They're just like, they don't know what to do. And they figure, now just shut up about it and maybe it'll go away. It's not going to go away. Jack Smith is not going to allow this kind of thing to continue on and to let people think that just because they're going to try to say they were just sort of, they'd heard or they were told or they're going to act like they weren't directly involved. Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, I pulled some cards. Sorry, chat. I'm ignoring you for a while. Okay. So Jack Smith. Yeah, he's going to bring the hammer down. I was specifically focusing on Gomer Pyle and probably his biggest monkey, Jim Jordan. And so, he's Jack already has the indictments written. Everything's already set up. He's already got this. I mean, he's already written his indictments and charges and briefs and replies and memoranda of law into 2025. He's already got them on the shelf. They're already typed. He's just kind of enjoying, this is his time of eating popcorn. He's kind of enjoying seeing it all unravel in the public eye, stuff that he already knows about. Because I got the High Priestess here. And I got the Ace of Swords. Was that the other card? Yeah, that was my other card. Now, one thing that came up was a 10 of Cups in reverse. This is my deck, the 10 of Cups, but it was in reverse. And so this is not going to be fun for the people who get indicted. I know, shocking, but it's true.
It's not going to be. But it's going to be fun for us to watch.
It's going to be really fun for us. And the thing is that the legal representation that the monkeys and Pyle get to represent them, I mean, think of this. Trump has already run through most of the dime store attorneys that exist on the eastern coast of the United States. There are none left to hire. So they're going to hire some really, really bottom of the barrel attorneys. And because I'm getting the Page of Swords. Yes, they're attorneys, but they're crapola. They're just not that good. And so a lot of them are going to have to make deals. This is the Eight of Cups. I see a lot of them making deals, crumpling like a cheap suit, and, just not really putting up a fight. So, that's what I see.
I think you're absolutely right. And yeah, me too. I got the 8 of Cups.
Oh, I didn't mean to make you cry, Marina.
It's okay. I'll deal with it.
Marina, they're douchebags. They're not worth your tears.
They're not worth your tears. You're right. Really? Yeah. They honestly believe the versions of the story that they are telling themselves. I get the 7 of Cups once again, which is, they're deluded themselves into thinking, well, yeah, okay, so I was there, but it's not, I wasn't the one who said, let's do this. I went along with it. And
it was a tourist event.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But no. And as you were originally asking the question, as I was shuffling, I had the 7 of Wands and the Knight of Swords that literally fell out of the deck. So yeah, no, you know what? This is Jack Smith bringing the fight to them, and it's almost like, choose your weapon. What would you like? I'll let you go first, right? But no, they're going to be facing some jail time and probably some fines and loss of job, loss of reputation, loss of family, and a few other things.
Lots of ability to run for public office and hold it.
Yeah. And maybe next time, make better choices.
Yeah.
You think?
Good one. I agree.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're talking about these other people that are going to eventually be indicted, you have to remember what was happening at the time that they fell into this conspiracy thing with Trump, and that at the time they really thought they were going to be protected by Trump. They really think still to this day that Trump's going to be president, and they're banking on him to pardon them continually. I mean, it's just, what they I think they're just in denial as well. I think there's a part of them that actually believes the bullshit at this point, and so they still think that they're doing something right. I don't know. It's so far out there. Did you want to say something, Shari?
We got a room full of demons who are hiding behind their phony Christian shield because they think that's going to protect them. Is they're going to call on the blood of Jesus to come and be gone with the devils that are Biden and Smith and all of these others. What they don't realize is they can't see the truth. They can't see the trees for the forest.
Yeah.
And it's just getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
And before you know it, they're going to wake up and go, what the hell have I done? And that's for the ones who have a brain left.
Yes.
Because I think most of them have not only drank the Kool-Aid, but they helped create the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And it's just eating their brain away.
Yeah. Kind of like the zombies show, right?
Thank you. Yes. They're like the zombies.
Very much. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Bless
yes,
you.
Lily, I agree. Okay. Let's see. Which one should we do? Do we want to talk about the Constitution, or do we want to talk about DeJoy running the post office?
The Constitution. Let's do the Constitution.
Okay, here we go.
Just to-
Sherry,
yeah, to join.
Spirit
Real
says,
quick on the post office, because I saw the question earlier.
Mhm.
DeJoy is gone, I believe.
oh, great. Well, then there you go.
Seems like I heard that the other day that he's left.
I
Could
I
be
heard
wrong.
I heard he was definitely stepping down, so I didn't
Yeah, I
know
could be wrong,
how
but I
soon he was stepping down. But yeah, I think that's right. I think that he's
Yeah.
if he hasn't already,
Nice.
he is. Okay, so Sherry, Trancing with Spirit, says, "Are we ever going to treat the Constitution as a binding document and not a suggestion on whether you follow it? Stop treating it like they treat the Bible." So what do we think? I mean, honestly, I think in the next 10 and definitely the next 10 years, but also going over the whole range of Pluto being in Aquarius, I think we very much will be treating the Constitution as a binding document, because I think we're going to have an example of about 1,500 people who are in jail because they didn't treat it as a binding document. So I think, yeah, I think we're going to start treating it as a binding document. And I think there's going to be probably hundreds, if not thousands, of amendments to it in order to cover all the shenanigans that have gone on for the last 7 years.
Oh yeah.
That's my hit. What do you girls think?
I totally agree with you, Colleen. I agree. But, this thing with the 14th Amendment and how they've tried to dissect it and make it seem different than it is really a good example of they're playing a game with this whole thing. The Constitution, we have always, up until I don't know when. I mean, it seems to me like we have always followed the Constitution. That is the basis for our democracy, is our Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
So to try to say that it was written differently or it was meant to mean something different than it does, no, it's always been the same. It always means exactly what it says, regardless of when it was written, regardless if it was a Civil War thing that was happening at the time. It's irrelevant. That has been there the whole time. It is to be read in black and white, and not to try to put a thought in there that doesn't exist. It's actually not fairly. It's totally clear of what the Constitution says. So we've got to get over this fact of this debatable thing in court. No, it's not. It is what it is. And if you did something like that, you did end up doing something against the law. If you're an insurrectionist, if you tried to overthrow the government, if you prevented the peaceful power thing, no, please. It's not a debate. It's not a debate.
There was a time when our Constitution was revered. It was looked upon as a gift from above, I guess, almost, because it was not written or based on any religion, which they want to try to push, but no, it wasn't. It was based on the rule and letter of the law. That's what our Constitution was based on. That's what our country was founded on, was the law, not a religion, not a devotion to any one person, not any particular way of living. It was based on the law, and that all men and women, even though we weren't technically included in that, were equal under the law. Nobody was above it. Nobody got special privileges. Didn't matter how much money was in your bank account or how many chickens and pigs and cows you owned in the back pasture. All that mattered was the fact that if you broke the law, then you suffered the consequences for it. Now, we have the unique thing that within our country, you're innocent until proven guilty, where most every other place you're guilty until proven innocent. And there's a big difference in that. But there are times when those that have broken the law have done so in such a blatant, flamboyant manner to just shove it in your face and then stand back and say, oh, but my God tells me blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't really give a crap what your God tells you. Your God doesn't run the country. The law runs the country, and the Constitution runs the country. And it's time to get back to pushing that fact back out there. And part of the way I think that we can do that going forward is we need to reintroduce the concept of civics or government or
Yes. Yes.
whatever you want to call it back into the schools again.
Yes.
You know, it truly amazes me how many adults have no clue how our country runs. They have no clue what powers the three different strands of government have. You know, they just, oh, well, the president does that. No, that's not his job. He doesn't have jurisdiction over that.
Yeah.
Congress takes care of that. You know, well, why can't he just go and do da 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 da? Because Congress is the one that tells him how much money he can spend and who he can spend it on, and he can't go against their wishes. You know, it's simple things. Just you know, it's like getting a driver's license to drive your car. If you don't know the basic rules of the road, then they're not going to give you a license because you'll be a danger to everybody else on the road.
Right.
You
Right.
know, the
And the
same
thing about the Constitution is, and it starts at the very beginning, we the people. I mean, you guys are mentioning something about women. It says we the people, every kind of person, a person. It's not men, women, black, white. It's nothing like that. It's we the people, and it's been very clear, and that it covers all of us, and it's, you know, it was the way that it's been written is just genius. The way
the
they
men
put
that
the
wrote
Constitution
this
together.
wrote this document were, yeah, they were geniuses. And you have to, I mean, when I look at it and think about it, it's like these were men that truly were touched by the divine and had inspirational messages come to them through whatever source that they followed that helped them write this document and put it in place. And it's unlike anything else in the world. I
Yeah.
mean, even going back to ancient Roman times, you know, and they were a democratic society, but
Right.
they didn't have the kind of document that we have,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be rewritten. It needs to be reread. You know,
Thank
you need to know what's in there. And I think that's probably what is going to happen once you get the cray out of it. Yeah, I think there's going to be things that are going to be amendments and things added to ensure that this situation doesn't happen again, that we don't allow it to happen again.
Well, and you know, the attorneys for Trump and probably Trump himself, they've said there was no insurrection. It was a riot. A riot that said fight like hell and turn over this thing. You know, Biden should not be
kill Mike Pence. Yeah, that's
it's just craziness.
That's all.
Yeah, that's a normal chant at any rally I've ever been to. You know, yeah.
So
yeah, my high school pep rallies were just like that.
Yeah.
So it's been a little over an hour and 15 minutes. That's actually getting close to an hour and 20 minutes. Do we have anything else we need to discuss, or is it getting time to shut down?
Well, I think it's close to the end. I do have just a couple of thoughts about the whole Constitution thing that as you guys were talking. So one thing that is an issue is not just the Constitution, but we have a multi-layered problem in this country because we don't trust our Supreme Court anymore. They are not upholding the Constitution. They're hiding behind all sorts of theories and themes of the way, you know, what kind of constitutionalists are they? That's crazy. We're being threatened with a blending of the separation of powers. I mean, you know, we're not being allowed to utilize our various branches of government in the correct way because we have crazy people at the helm trying to call the shots. And you know, that's going to take a long time for this to get kind of sorted out. I do think that as things are rewritten, I do think that they're going to update certain things in the Constitution, because even though it starts out with the phrase "we the people," it was written at a time where men considered Black people something like 5/8 of a person, like the not a full person. And although it says "we the people," you're right, that does refer to men, women, children, but it throughout the Constitution, they really place a great deal of power with the white landowners. And that was a big reason why they didn't give Black people full personages ship, because then there were too many of them. They would overrun and they would be a political force at that time. There's a lot of things that have to get sorted out. And I think I'm very hopeful with Pluto and Aquarius that we will be able to put some of the most brilliant minds to work at this. Think of Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him turn his mind to rewriting pieces of the Constitution. Or Eric Swalwell, Adam Schiff, Jamie Raskin, and Mr. What's his name? Is it Ludig? Judge Ludig?
Moskowitz. Yeah, Moskowitz is another one.
No. Judge Ludig. I don't know why his name's escaping me. And also Lawrence Tribe. Before they move on to the great beyond, I would love to see all of them turn their mind to this as well. And I'm sure they will, because it's really called for. It's a huge it's a huge undertaking, but I think Kamala's up to the task. What do you think?
I agree. And the simple fact that there were big holes in the way things were done that we didn't realize were there, because we thought they were established law, only to find out, oh, no, it was just a gentleman's agreement. We just don't step over this line, or we just don't do things that way. Well, it's time now to spell it out in black and white. Put it down on paper.
And I think too, I think that we've talked all around the fact that the astrology is very similar to what it was when we were in the Civil War. We are in a civil war. We're not using guns and muskets and wearing different uniforms, but we are in a civil war. I mean, a judge tonight just had a bomb threat on his home. We are in a fucking war.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we gotta just hold tight, and hopefully the sanity will prevail. So that's my little soapbox. That's what I wanted to say. So thank you for letting me have my say.
Shari. And Marina, was there any last thoughts from you?
As always, vote. Make sure that you go and vote. Make sure you take someone with you so that they can vote. Give people a ride. Vote blue up and down the ticket. And believe me, think of this as this is the last time that you will ever have the opportunity to vote, because it might very well be. So don't sit back and don't let some idiot decide your future.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, thank you. Well, and Rose Blue said something. She says, I bet Roe gets codified first thing. And I do too. But I want to mention that Trump just took credit. It was just like today or yesterday, he took credit for the one he's the one that ended up influencing the courts, apparently, to make sure that Roe was overturned. So keep that in mind also when you've got this lunatic out there, please. Or does he know something we don't know? Does he have that kind of influence over the court? Possible.
Yeah. Well, he may not, but there are certain money people that do. That's why we have Justice I Like Beer, Justice Stepford Wife, and Justice Corporate.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I would love to see a mob of angry women go after Trump when he's saying, yeah, I overturned Roe v. Wade. Just a mob of angry women going, yes, you're good. Come here. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Thanks for helping me be the host of this show. And
you did so good.
The chatters for all the great questions. And thanks to Colleen for starring those questions because I
Come and do
still
it.
am not clear exactly how to do it. And, you know, I guess we're going to be back as far as the Golden Girls. We are coming back
On the 25th.
on the
25th.
25th. Thank you, Shari. Yes, on the 25th,
Val.
we'll be back.
And Val will be our host.
And who will?
Val.
Oh, good. Good. Great. She does a good job. You guys all do a good job.
You
So-
did good. You just knew at it. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? After you do this a few times, you'll be able to do it in your sleep.
Sure.
Absolutely.
No, trust me, you will.
You will. Yeah.
So I just wanted to remind everybody that on Friday, tomorrow, we have a polyterology, which is a 1-year anniversary for Calling the Cool Crones polyterology. And on Sunday, Colleen's starting a new show called Visualize a New World. And this is really a big deal. Everybody should pay attention to this. If you can't be on it when we're actually doing it, then watch it again. This Visualize a New World thing is it's critical. It's something that all the psychics will be in on because we do have a chance to influence the change that's going to be coming in the world. Yeah. And then on Monday, I do have a Mystic 4, but it's the other couple shows I just told you about that's really important. So thanks again, and it's time to go.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.